A big world tour it is. We started off in Mexico City in March. We then moved north to the frozen tundra of Calgary, Canada. Here we are tonight in the sweltering heat of Fort Worth, Texas. We move over the pond in July and head into Madrid, Spain to the Plaza de Toros de las Ventas before finishing the tour in the UK with the Queen in London at Battersea Power Station. And it should be lovely. We'll all have tea.
But it all started at the first stop of 3 in Mexico City, where a breakout star was unleashed, the rubber band man.
Levi Sherwood, huge extension, followed right behind the Japanese Ego Sato with a huge battle, but getting the win was the rookie, Levi Sherwood, youngest X-Fighters champion.
And the second stop up in Calgary, a rider who everyone says has been so ripe for a win, he finally grabbed it. Robbie Madison.
One of the legends in freestyle, got his big win. Once again though, Ego Sato hot on his trail, ends up taking the X-Fighter Series lead, which brings us in here to Texas, where I think he's going to be one of the men to beat. But Maddo taking it home, stoked to see it.
So with 2 stops down of 5, that brings us to our overall series standings.
Right in the standings there, you can see Sato has beaten the bridesmaid twice, but he is leading the series. Sherwood is not with us tonight because of injury. Ribot, though, was the champion here last year. Question is, can he repeat and move up those series standings? But we can never count out Robbie Madison. He was great in Calgary, looked great in practice and qualifying. Let's not forget him.
Jeremy Stenberg, one of America's big hopefuls. So there he is right there, sitting in the stockyards, prepping up for tonight's show. He's got what it takes to kill it here. I think he looks pretty relaxed. He might be one of the men to beat. But right there, last year's champion here in Texas, Matt Ribot got his cowboy hat. He must feel at home, stretching it out.
I thought it was Bartram for a second. I saw the hat.
Bartram don't speak French, buddy. That's Matt Ribot.
Well, Red Bull X-Fighters is a fairly unique setup. We invite the 12 best riders in the world. They then come into qualifying the day before competition. They get 2 runs of 90 seconds each. They earn their rank in qualifying. So in qualifying, you rank 1 through 12. You then move on from your qualifiers into round 1 of competition. And round 1 is where the heat gets turned up. 6 riders, the bottom 6 in round 1, are fighting for 2 spots because only 2 will advance into the top 8. And the top 8 is our quarterfinal round. You're going to be seeing that head-to-head matchups, mano a mano. Only one will win each one of those quarterfinal matchups.
Great matchups. Talk about some grudge matches here. I think some similar stacks up that we've seen in previous X-Fighters.
Sato and Maddo, of course, that was the final in Calgary. Stenberg and Ribot, that was the final here last year. And that time it was Ribot, right, Ronnie?
Well, man, that's only the quarterfinals. We're going to have one heck of a night.
And the big question here, will this course be beating the riders or will they be beating themselves?
You're getting out there and you're kind of setting the pace for things.
Well, there's only one group of people who can make that decision. That is our illustrious panel of judges.
5 guys that are surveying the action here this evening.
And here we have our judges sitting up there. On the left, you see Jimmy Verberg, the Belgian judge, Belgian freestyle star.
But it wasn't until 2000
sitting next to Jimmy, Chuck Carruthers.
Tonight, he's judging a category called Trick and Track. Fort Worth,
next to Carruthers, we have Regis.
Welcome for Jimmy Verberg.
Regis Harrington, there's Verberg. The trick and track judge, what he does is he judges the variety of tricks and the use of course. That is going to be very important here in Fort Worth. Next to Jimmy, Chuck Carruthers. He rode here last year. He actually is a little bit banged up, so he isn't riding this year. He is a former X Games gold medalist in best trick. He brought the body variant to freestyle motocross, called it the Corolla.
He's a little bit Texas, too.
He is a little bit Texas, comes from just down Houston way. Next to Chuck, Regis Andrew Harrington III. He's the head judge at a lot of our X-Fighter stops, head judge at the X Games. He's also known for stunt riding. He's been in quite a few movies, actually, riding that motorcycle. He will judge execution, and that is just how big you pull those tricks, how well you extend them.
Getting his flex on up there.
And sitting next to Regis, a real Texas hero, a the multi-time bull riding champion, none other than Tough Hedeman. Now, Hedeman is the show judge. He judges two elements here: the show that the rider puts on, how well he entertains the crowd, but also 50% of his score is taken from the reaction of the crowd themselves. So Hedeman has to both look and listen to make his decision. Then last but not least on that judging panel,
we got a celebrity in the house.
Another celebrity. He's since we last saw him, grown that fantastic afro. This is Andy Bell. He is our head judge. He is Canada's greatest living freestyler and the patsy to an awful lot of Travis Pastrana's pranks. Andy is the head judge. He judges the overall impression. He looks at everything the riders do, and he often is the way ties are broken.
And it's not an easy task when you break it down.
No, in the judging here in X Fighters, 5 judges judge 5 different categories. You saw it there. There's the show, the style, the execution of the trick, the use of course, and the variety of tricks, and then the head judge with overall. You need to take 3 out of the 5 judges to advance. Make 3 happy, and you will move on to the next round.
It's really that trick and track judge that's going to be weighed upon heavily tonight when you talk about the size of this course.
So the first matchup tonight in competition will be between the Japanese rider Ego Sato and the Aussie Robbie Madison. We saw this as the final last time out in Calgary, Canada. And what an amazing final that was. Sato just making one small mistake that could have cost him that final. He will go out first because he is the lower ranked of the 2 for qualifying. He's stuck there in the chutes. Ronnie, what goes through your mind when you're stuck in this situation?
And we were watching the bull riders earlier, and I think it's just as equally nerve-wracking. Guys like Sato really love it. He's about to jump into his element right here. He's going to have a good time. It's going to show on his riding. And he's the points leader. You would think he'd be nervous as all get out.
And you reflect back at earlier X Fighters, how he was stacked up against Travis Pastrana for so long. But in a way, I feel that it kind of pushed Ego a little bit harder, and that's why he is at the place that he is right now.
He's come out so big this year. I think he has surprised us all with just how well he's riding.
You know, it's not an easy thing to do, is come out here having fun. Ego does it on the first jump. He didn't have to get in his stride or anything. He throws a Cordova flip on a 120-foot gap. Biggest jump on the course. Charging right into the rhythm section, going a little long, but sticking right with it.
And his setup back home in Japan, old training facility, very, very humble when you compare it to the training compounds out in the United States. It's incredible that he learned what he did on such a simple setup.
Ego probably has the most frequent flyer miles, and I'm not talking off freestyle ramps, in the world, man. I don't know how he's not permanently jet lagged.
Well, he says it was really important to him that he stayed based in Japan.
See that east to west jump. It's a dirt takeoff and a dirt landing, and obviously, Ronnie, taking off on dirt is a whole lot harder than on those ramps.
Yeah, you know, this place is dry. It's been baking out here all week. Ramps are full expanded metal. Your tires get 100% traction in the dirt. It's loose, it's grimy. Doesn't seem to faze these guys. They're pros, and that's what they do. It's just a matter of adapting and confidence.
And how much is Ego right now thinking what Mato is going to bring? Does he play that at all into the chess game?
You know, I think he knows the level of guys even beyond Mato. Anybody he's going to face tonight, obviously it's the last time he's going to face Mato no matter what. And it's a world-class field. This was the final match at the last stop. Ego's timing, I have to point out, has been way off in this round.
Yeah, a few casings throughout.
Casing, obviously, when you come up short and the case plate of the motorcycle hits the dirt before anything, it's painful. The judges don't like to see it, and it definitely gets you out of your rhythm.
Well, Sato had a few rough landings there. We'll see if the judges will penalize him for that. But let's take a look at just what Sato is bringing to us.
Coming out swinging, Cordova flip. I think he was mic'd up with a wire. Looks like it came loose, and that can really distract you. But he kept on charging. Cliffhanger, backflip, all stretched out, only like Ego Sato can do. Look at that.
Full commitment there. And you mentioned the casings. A couple of the landings not as clean as he had hoped.
coming over with a transfer there. Something we'll talk about a little more down the line. There's so many options out here. And he's extending a huge super can over a transfer jump. So he's shaking it off there.
So we've seen Ego Sato's run. Now Robbie Madison gets to come out and do his best. Remember, this format, it is head-to-head matchups. Only one of these two riders is going to advance through to our semifinal. And Robbie Madison, I mean, this kid, he has a big arsenal of tricks. I would say of all the riders we've seen in the past 6 months, Robbie Madison has probably worked the hardest to get to the point he's at now.
I know for a fact he has. Matto's a good friend of mine. Super focused. Really wants this. He missed the first round, but he's here to win this one.
You can't underestimate the mental momentum coming from Calgary. That's I mean, that just brings a whole new level of confidence too, on top of the trick repertoire.
27 years old. He's definitely learned a lot. I've been there for a few of his licks, and it's great. It's great to see him come out and get more focused.
Oh, wasting no time. Matto busting right out of the course. Watch this no-handed lander.
Cliffhanger to no-handed lander. He's been working on that all week. He was proud to put that one in there. Doing the transfer over the quarter pipe lip. Pretty risky, but looks good. And then turns it right into the quarter pipe.
So again, this section, it takes you time to do the transfer and the quarter. You're not pulling these big tricks. So how important is it to show that use of force?
Well, you got a lot of criteria. Look at that. Off the quarter pipe, over the top of the big mountain. Haven't seen that. Uh-oh. Oh, looks like he might have had something come out of the socket. Wow.
So a problem there for Matto. He actually had a knee problem coming into this event. He managed to pop that out training in the foam pit, but now going over that transfer, I mean, something unique. We haven't seen this before. He came from the landing of the quarter pipe across the dirt mound and onto what is a transfer landing, but now he's ready to go again. How tough are these guys, Ronnie?
Wow. He's a rolling lethal weapon.
I know I'm not supposed to speculate on what's going on. It looked like he put his shoulder back in the socket and he's back at it. Does he have any time left on the clock? 14 seconds. Going for the super kicker there.
And I think
no-handed can, the heel clicker with the shoulder that just popped out.
I think it's testament too. You talk about how hard some of those landings are.
You know, he's doing this for the fans right now. I think he knows that he's not going to take Ego with killing about a minute there. Coming up, a double reverse Indian air over the 120-footer. You know, this is for the fans. This is why I love the guy, because he does it out of his heart. He's going to go through and bang out his whole run right now.
He really is. He's just not stopping. That red flag was flying, but he was still going.
Matto says red flags are for quitters.
He's having a free ride.
Over the super poppy 75-footer. Probably the most airtime on any jump here.
It's just unfortunate for Matto because up to that point, creativity-wise, and the lines that he ended up pulling there, right thereafter.
Oh, he was on a roll too.
Oh, this was going to be just such a spectacular run. Unique lines, huge tricks, and let's take a look at some of these huge tricks.
Right here, cliffhanger Christ air style, where you can't even see where you're going. No bar check, Pat. Here we go. Look back, seat grab Indy. Over that, using the back of the quarter pipe landing.
Oh, even before the landing.
Actually, during the trick, he doesn't even land with his hand on the bar.
Wow. But talk about resilience and just fortitude. After that, came back and just for the crowd.
That's huge right there. 120-foot gap.
No shortage of combinations.
Kiss of that flip directly into the dirt kicker with a heel clicker flip. You got to be paranoid that that shoulder could come out again.
Well, unfortunately, so much of that run was after time. And it was just an amazing run, but it is head-to-head matchup, which means only one of the guys will advance. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be the gentleman on the left there. Okay, so trick and track goes to Sato. Execution, he only needs one more. Style to Sato, and you see Madison already know that he's leaving, so.
Tough break for Matto, man. I know he put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into getting that last win, and he wanted it again, you know. It just boosted his confidence that much more, but you kind of can't help something like that happening.
Unforeseeable for sure for Madison. Known for huge world record attempts, and be hard-pressed to find a more humble guy in the sport.
Well, heat number 1 is in the books of our quarterfinals. Heat number 2, a repeat of last year's finals here. Jeremy Twitch Stenberg from the US of A versus the Swiss Matt Rebaud. And both of these guys were riding really well in practice. They rode very, very well in qualifying. And this is going to be a tough heat. Stenberg bursts out of the chute. He has 30 seconds from moving out of the chute to hit the first ramp, or his run will actually start. You can see the countdown clocks there. Our swatches are actually going. So Twitch, what can you tell us about this guy, Ronnie?
Well, 2 years ago, you would have thought this was the track for Twitch. Matt Rebaud's from Switzerland. He hasn't grown up riding these huge courses that America's had to offer. And Matt Rebaud proved him wrong, came out and stopped it right here at the stockyards. Twitch needs to get on the go. His time's running out to get his rhythm on.
Well, yeah, you compare Rebaud used to gravel pits, you know, Twitch, Ocotillo Wells.
Wow. Quarter pipe and all the way across it. About a 60-foot launch right there. On the gas. Twitch also a great rider on the track as well, and that could benefit him here. But he's head-to-head against Rebaud, and he's a great trick rider. Rock solid.
They fly so far in that trick. I mean, they're flying probably 150 feet. It's a half a football field length that you fly.
Coming in with the double gravel, a little long. A lot of guys having a problem with that. That's actually where Jeff Cargola possibly broke his thumb and still toughed it out with an overjump there.
You see a noticeable difference, though, the pacing and the frenetic pace, I should say, of Twitch. It seems like he's a...
I have not seen many people flip that last jump that he just did, and he does it with a kiss of death. Coming into the double-double. Oh! Grabs back on one hand. I know he was going for no hand, but that's still awesome. He's going to hop off with a lot of Twitch style. I don't know what to call that gap. It's over the quarter pipe, but not on the quarter pipe.
That crazy transfer, and he traveled a long way.
It was totally flat. Coming into the big guy. Seat grab flip. Good extension. Twitch has had a hard time with that trick. I believe in Calgary he actually slipped with it a little bit. So to see him come back and put it in, it's a tough decision to make.
Oh, right at time there. That should count.
Now the question is, was that an underflip or a whip flip? It looked like he got that thing sideways enough for the underflip.
This one's not going to count, but on the step down, pretty difficult jump to flip. Not many guys do it. He does it with a heel clear, but I don't think that's going to count.
Someone that knows quarter pipe very well, Ronnie. Let me pose this question. Obviously, to the riding purists, they respect it. It definitely represents the progression and the forward movement of the sport. Will he get rewarded for what he did on the quarter pipe?
Definitely. He went big on the quarter pipe, but here, tricks like this is something that's held Twitch back for a while. Now he's got it. Big extension, good style on that rock solid. Kiss it at backflip on the poppiest jump on the track. Going for the no-handed lander. Last second, grabbing back on for one, but he had to get that front brake. There's a corner right there.
Now that's probably about a 50-foot stopping distance before you'd be meeting somebody new in the crowd.
Oh, I don't know what he calls it. That's a flip whip. I think that's what Twitch even calls it, but it's one of the bigger flip whips in the biz.
That was a very big flip whip. The underflip is when you go perpendicular to the direction of travel. So your bike basically goes 90 degrees to where you took off. I'd say that was pretty darn close.
Stylish, we can give it that for sure.
Oh yeah, the judges are looking for that. Style is one of our categories, a very important category because it's 20% of your score.
Well, Twitch is out there riding for himself, and I'm pretty sure he's pumped on that run.
So the next wild bull in the chute, our 2008 Red Bull X-Fighters champion, Matt Rebaud. He hails out of Payerne, Switzerland, 26 years old. He now resides up in Valencia,
right there by the Red Bull compound, where he's been getting a lot of training in, really wanting to stay on top and get this series win. Matt's grown up a lot. He's going for the series, but I know he wants this win.
He really does want this win so bad.
It kind of brings back the discussion that when you talk about the creativity that Twitch brought. Seeing the exact same, Rebaud will take a very creative line that we saw in earlier rounds.
Not a lot of guys opting to take that super kicker with the transfer line. a flip knack down the step down. And that's really good at racing the course. Something you'll notice is he usually gets a couple more jumps than other guys. Top side, double can, into a quarterback. The crowd loves that.
Massive extension with that last trick.
This has been great so far. He's only 30 seconds into a 90-second run, so Matt Ribot is coming out big so far.
Double can flip. I believe he's going around into that quarter pipe.
When we talk about you can get lost in this course.
Whoa, boosting it huge, all the way to the dirt.
He missed the carpet, he missed the landing there.
See Garth Milan out there, world famous photographer, bailing out of the way. Oh, another transfer line we haven't seen tonight. Double can Indy over it, pulling up those super flip levers, which are used for a variety of tricks, but usually when you're upside down, get you held onto the bike a bit. Candy bar, can flip.
So two tricks in one there. He put the foot over the bars first and then sideways over the seat.
Ribot's a master of combinations, especially while upside down.
He's gonna have,
Wow.
would have had time for one last trick.
He's going to have to hurry.
You know, he's head-to-head here with the guy he was in the finals with last year, so he's pulling out the stops. Rough ending there.
That trick he usually pulls very well. He's got great execution and great extension, but that was weaker than I've seen Matt Ribot pull that trick for sure. Let's take a look at his run.
He comes on the step down. Knack, looking over at the crowd. You know, that stuff adds up. Bolt Tough recognizes that. Kind of a little Tomcat style onto that top side can, right into a massive kiss of death look back flip.
I love what he does here. He punches and he looks right through, and that really, I mean, what does that do to your shoulders?
That's Matto. Looks like Matto had the same problem. Well, not a problem. You can only stretch so much, though.
It's great here. You can see him spot forward.
Adding the Indian air to that one on the big gap.
Yeah, the Indian had a scissor kick of the feet there. Wow.
Air awareness at its finest.
Great ride from Matt Ribot.
This is a tough one to call. Both had the creativity on the corner hits, the transfers, amazing flip variations.
Both of these guys just did runs that could have won last year in the first round of qualifying, knowing that they got even bigger competitors to go up against in the next round.
Defending champ, Ribot.
Hammond for the camera a little bit. Well, the judges are obviously having a tough time making this decision because it is so close.
You have to let it marinate. There was so many tricks in it, and the style, that's what we keep emphasizing, but it's that fluidity. It's making the tricks look smooth, like you're not even trying, and then really flowing through the course. And sometimes tricks that are necessarily, they might look visually bigger, it's those small transfers that are harder that the judges reward.
Sometimes it makes a difference where you're doing those big tricks.
Here we go, trick and track, use of course, variety of tricks goes to Ribot, execution Ribot, needs one more. Here we go, show, Ribot will take it.
I know Stenberg's disappointed. He put in a really solid ride. Ribot stoked. He knows what it takes to keep moving up in the brackets here.
Ribot onto the semis. And he gets a little Texas cackle.
He loves this place. As serious as freestyle's gotten, he's still got a smile on his face at all times.
And talk about a highly anticipated matchup in round two. Danny Torres against Cameron Sinclair, and we've been hyping Cameron Sinclair, the possibility of a first in a round two competition.
Well, let me tell you, Cam Sinclair is no one-trick pony.
No.
He proved that last night. Getting in the second, I think he's claiming to have more in the bag and a lot more amplitude. But he's going to need it because Danny Torres is the king of amplitude.
You know, I'm amazed. I've got to say, Danny Torres has surprised us more than once before. He came out in Poland last year at the final stop of Red Bull X Fighters, and he rode probably the most difficult course we'd ever seen and just schooled everybody.
Coming in hot on the transfer of the Super K. Double, oh, that's a new one. Everyone's been using that as a setup jump, and he did a double grab.
I posed the question, did Torres unload his clip in round one? It seems like he's got a little more energy here.
He's got a breath of fresh air, looks like to me. Lazy flip, the sideshow, man, that's a tough trick. Actually, Chuck Carruthers, one of our judges, the first guy to do this sideshow. Probably pumped on that.
Swinging the legs off sideways, taking the hands off, become fully detached from the bike, and then somehow get back on.
Cliffhanger flip.
The cliffhanger flip is usually Danny Torres' nemesis. He has failed so many times on that trick, and it's cost him the win. Bend in the waist, but still, he managed to get it tonight.
Last two tricks, he's had a bit of hesitation. I think he was surprised he got the cliffhanger flip.
I love the way he does that. He does a different transfer over the landing of the step down, and then he kind of kicks sideways off the ramp.
Interesting way to get to the other side of the course.
There's that executioner Indian air to kind of rock solid.
And you should probably point out what they're doing in the corners. You can see they're flipping the grab bars. Have to get those set for depending on which trick they're going to do.
They call them super flip levers, Pat, but they use them for everything. Anything to stay on the bike, that's always a good idea.
The centrifugal force of a spinning motorcycle with you aboard, it can easily just tear the bike right out of your hands while you're upside down, and nobody would want to see that.
I think Danny was hustling in practice.
Do you think he was kind of psyching them all out?
He's been hustling.
It's like, oh, my knee, oh, I feel sore.
I didn't know hustling was going on in Spain, but he was.
Oh, this is great. It's fantastic to see Torres riding at the top of his game.
And FMX Shark.
No kidding. He actually did have a tough time because the first day, his suspension, all the parts for his motorcycle were actually lost in transit, so he missed out on the first practices completely. Had to ride on some of the stock parts, but this is just another great run from Torres.
This is a course you don't want to not have your suspension. Huge jumps. Right there, up the transfer step up, or kind of the setup jump, into a layback cliffhanger. That's extra points. I mean, it wasn't no weak trick coming up that step up. Huge lazy boy flip directly into the sideshow where Chuck Carruthers is saying, that's my boy. Big Indian air backflip over the big boy. Glad to see Danny fighting like this. Big Cordova flip on the dirt. Double lip. Had quite a good amount of jumps, had some unique lines.
Keeps that high energy in round two that we saw in round one. And it's really going to come down to Cameron Sinclair, because Cameron Sinclair cannot do what he did in earlier rounds of qualifying. He can't telegraph the fact that he's nervous for this double flip if he does do it, and he's got to have a full run. The judges have said you're not gonna advance, you're not gonna win based on a double flip.
Cameron Sinclair is so happy today. He's happy he finally got to pull that double flip, and now he's ready to pull out the great run we know he's capable of. And if you are sitting at home, you're in the wrong position. You need to be on your feet because you're about to witness something amazing. This is a 220-pound, 250cc motorcycle, and this guy is going to try to take it upside down not once, but twice.
As a rider, Ronnie, does that make you nervous?
Oh man, I'll be straight up with you. I left before the prelim started because he said that he was going to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And you know, there's nothing worse I hate than seeing my buddies put themselves in a bad position. You know, every once in a while it goes good, but every once in a while it don't. This guy, I love watching him ride. He's kind of mysterious to me, but he's got a total significant style and a confidence I've never seen out of any freestyle rider.
I really like the way he does that no-hander flip. He puts the hands behind the back. They call it suicide style. Very few guys do that.
You know, one of the reasons the double flip has not been brought out in competition, not only because it's gnarly, is it's nearly impossible to focus on a whole freestyle run on a massive course like this, have the energy left over to do it, and then come out and stick the holy grail.
I love what he did there. He also tricked that little step-on jump. He did a double can there.
I may have picked up on Torres' technique a little, knowing that he might need that.
Yeah, when you consider Travis Pastrana point in a best trick competition, that's one thing, but to just mentally get that out of your head.
Sinclair, not holding anything back. Indian air flip. We've seen seat grab flips over, but him going for the Indian air seat grab flip.
So less than 30 seconds left in this run. He needs to make sure he does the double backflip in time.
Awesome combo there. Saran wrap to knack. Super can, and now we're turning in.
This would be the location. You can see him.
Get up off the couch at home. You're about to see something spectacular.
Plenty of time left. Yeah!
Woo! Wow! As the clock hit 0, he hit the ground. What a fantastic double backflip from Cameron Sinclair. The first time ever in a freestyle motocross competition. Unbelievable.
He's gonna take a breather there. My hair are standing up on my arm. I got the chills.
Chicken skin. Chicken skin.
Oh, it looks like he might have tweaked his ankle.
Well, I guess there's one trick we kind of have to look at here.
Yeah. And here it is. A slow second rotation. Bike flat out, but he sticks it both wheels on the ground. Perfect. Couldn't ask for a better landing.
How about the altitude of this trick, though, and the impact? He landed really low.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Qualifiers. So that's
he landed really low on that one as well. That first angle I couldn't tell, but now it's terrible landing down there. Oh, and you see it.
That's it.
reaction.
So pumped. Great camaraderie here.
So again, it looked like he popped that right foot off on the landing. It looked like it actually hit the dirt. And look at his face. Like he's in pain.
Visibly shaken, but a little stirred there from
use of course, execution. Any surprises here?
You know, no. Well, Danny did surprise me, but I knew he wasn't going to take that with Cam pulling that double and stopping a great run besides the double. Let's hope he's okay to make it in that next round.
Well, Sinclair goes through to the next round, and tough break that foot. He's going to have to get that looked at before he goes into the semifinals. Danny Torres, though, a very valiant attempt he made. He certainly rode well tonight. But let's take a look at this double back again, especially check out what that right foot does on the landing.
Obviously, they don't get more commitment than that. Taking it to 2 rotations, perfect body positioning, knows when to gas it. He's got this trick iced.
And the trick, you kind of take it out of one of the textbooks of BMX, and it's been a huck and hope trick there, but wow, that was textbook.
I think he was hoping that landing was about 5 feet farther out.
So the next matchup is between Adam Jones and Nate Adams, our #1 qualifier. There you see Jones sitting in the chute. And he's not the most anxious bull I've ever seen. He seems pretty happy that he got through to the quarterfinal round. He certainly has a big bag of tricks, but he is up against just an incredible rider in Nate Adams. Let's see if Jones can maybe find something extra this round.
Not the first time Adam Jones has gone against Nate Adams. Quite a few battles along the years. I think both taking their shares of wins from each other. I would never count Adam Jones out. Nate is riding this course awesome, proving that with the first qualifying spot last night. There we got Adam Jones popping into the course with a big double grab. Indy on the step down off the huge mountain here in the Fort Worth Stockyards. Killer extension. Adam's a master of style and extension.
So far, his run really has looked good. Missed it.
Getting a little front end hollow, getting a foot slipping off. Hopefully that doesn't shake it off, Adam. Messing up that trick, though.
And unintended, he just ended up with a little bar hop.
Until he's really frustrated.
Well, you know, it hasn't been a bad month for Adam. He has his new baby, Blair, sitting at home back there in Carson City, Nevada. So,
got a big stripper flip with a 120-foot gap. Bam!
Wow, once again with the extension. It's also, should be noted, when you're going head-to-head, even if you have to falter, you have to continue because you have no idea what Nate Adams is going to do. Nate Adams going to have a couple of non-tricks.
Exactly. What we saw with Robbie Madison in the first round tonight, he won. run, having the shoulder pop out, and if he would have been in the other position, Ego would have still had to come out swinging.
Oh, we've seen this so often in Red Bull X Fighters competition where somebody's actually backed off because they had a problem, and then the guy after them has had more of a problem.
Did you see that trick right there? A no-handed bar hop, and then throws it into McMets.
Interesting combos. The dead body completely extended.
So 2 tricks in one there. The bar hop, you stick the feet out in front of the bars. Then he let go of the hands. And then he swung the feet around the outside. And that's, of course, invented by Mike Metzger.
Adam doing it with a pause.
Just a litany of combos in this run, though.
Right here's one of them. Lazy boy backflip. Stretching it out. Perfect landing. Adam's always been a master of drilling the landings. This is a trick that's given him some problems over the years, but he's finally getting it with full extension. Kiss to that backflip. There it is. See there, Tess holds the bar hop, and then McMetzes it out.
That's incredible.
Super tech. And then right into the next jump with a huge.
Wow. That's an upside down dead body.
The name of that is a dead body technically, but when you go that big, it's called a rigor mortis.
Well, great run from Adam Jones, but did make that mistake in the middle, and he's just going to have to hope that the next guy out is going to do something completely uncharacteristic.
Would you have to say at this point, Adams would have to fall? They're judging by the way he's ridden in earlier rounds.
He definitely would. But it was good to see Adam continue on, showcase his talent with the tricks that nobody else is going to. You're not going to see a dead body that big. You're not going to see a no-handed backflip. Nate Adams got some good stuff of his own to show you, though.
So Nate Adams now waits in the chute. Adam Jones will ride up to the Red Bull X Fighters hotspot there on top of the chutes. He gets to watch now to see what our #1 qualifier can do. They call him the Destroyer, which for a guy who was so quiet and so meek for so many years is kind of a strange name, but he did just about destroy everybody in this game. He is such a good rider. He's kind of been away from competition for a while with all kinds of just weird injuries since he hurt himself way back in July 07, that was, in Madrid.
Some unrelated to riding.
A huge cliffhanger, bringing it right into the double-double section, sidewinder. Adams, apologies there. Sorry, Nate. Oh, a new line. Takes a different line into the quarter.
Wow, it's very interesting. Actually, I think he saved some time by doing that. That was a smart move.
What do we got here? Another fresh line, throwing a knack-knack and a transfer over the mountain. I'm just going to call that the mountain from now on. That thing is huge.
He's all over the place. This is a completely unique line we're seeing from Nate Adams. A big Cordova flip there over that 45-foot ramp.
This run is bursting with creativity. Now he's just going to have to back it up with some big tricks.
Holy grab to full Nate Adams style, stretched out double grab. Coming into the big end. Backflip Cordova. Keeping the momentum strong. And Nate is setting this course on fire.
Still has 30 seconds left, too. I mean, he has a long time. Little tentative there on that cliffhanger flip.
Qualifying score was in the 90s.
Big no-hand flip on the step down.
So far, how would you gauge this run?
Great run, but watch what he does right here. 360 with a knack-knack. Only guy doing a 360 tonight.
The axis on that was unbelievable coming down to the side.
Wow, look at the airtime. C-grab flip.
I'll have to see if that C-grab flip was actually within the time limit, but that 360, he pulls the flat spin 360, brings the bike around, the vertical axis 360 degrees, and then somehow manages to get that knack in. The foot swung across the seat. Have to see if the judges are watching all of these things, and of course, no mistakes from Nate Adams. Adam Jones, unfortunately, did make mistakes. Let's take a look at Nate's run.
Super clean with the landings, too. We should point that out.
And the run flowing with creativity. Nate's always got great style. Right here, throwing huge with a stripper flip
Oh, I think we actually
So
missed that. It
not
looked
only,
like Cordova.
and this is the big one. Knack, 360. I think I saw fireworks going off in the background. I don't know if he timed that.
I don't know. It's all right.
Well, here we go. 5 judges are going to decide which of these will go to the showers early. Will it be Adam Jones or Nate Adams? Nate gets trick and track. He gets execution. One more helmet and it's his. That's it. Adam Jones, we'll see you later.
Man, I'm really impressed with Nate's run right there. My goodness. We're going into the final round. If Nate does continue that far, you have a 2-minute running versus a 1.5 minutes. And Nate just proved he has a lot more to show right there. He kept going after the red flag was off.
I think there's still much more to come from Nate Adams.
Well, let's take a look at the semifinal matchups. Matt Ribot versus Cameron Sinclair in semifinal 1. Then Sato, our current tour leader, against Nate Adams in semi 2. Wow, they are going to be some incredible matchups.
Yeah, we've been full of grudge matches, little redemption for a couple riders, but the pace has not slowed down one bit since the get-go.
And I think, if anything, I would say perhaps Ego Sato, one of the fortunate people to have moved through into this round because of the accident or the injury from Madison there. So let's wait and see just how well he does in the next round. The semifinals coming up next. Welcome back to Red Bull X Fighters Fort Worth, Texas. I'm Tess Sewell along with Ronnie Renner and Pat Parnell. We've certainly seen some incredible action here tonight. The quarterfinal round was just fantastic. We're coming into the semifinals, but a couple of incidents there. Cameron Sinclair pulls the double backflip. It was huge, but we saw him limp off. What happened, Ronnie?
Yeah, the big talk of the night, Cam Sinclair, coming all the way from Australia here with the main goal, not only to win this contest, but pull that double backflip in a competition, which he did. The bad news is he went a little long on it, foot slipped off the pedal, and it looks like he's got a little limp going, so we don't know what's going to happen with that.
So he has got a tough matchup against Sato, but then Nate Adams, what can we say about this guy, Pat? I mean, he just looked so perfect in that quarterfinal run.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say Nate Adams has found that rhythm that he once lost due to so many injuries. He's got the confidence, and he's riding with a verve that we have not seen for a couple years, so it's great to see. I think Nate Adams is going to give Cameron Sinclair a run for his money if Cameron can come back and have the full pull.
So the question is, will we see the double flip again from Cameron Sinclair? The quarterfinals are in the books. The semifinals coming up here at Red Bull X Fighters, Fort Worth, Texas.
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
I felt like Frank Gifford there.
Well, semifinal rounds coming up now. We're just been watching our rodeo queens tear around this Texas-sized Red Bull X Fighters course one more time. And the course, I think, has not proved to be as tough as we first thought it might be, Ronnie. And Nate Adams just finding all those lines and just getting around this course so well was just amazing.
Yeah, this is why I'm retired, semi-retired from these competitions, because they're finding a way to go huge on the hugest course.
So the first matchup, Matt Ribot from Switzerland, last year's champion here in Texas, last year's Red Bull X Fighters Series champion, is up against Cameron Sinclair, who had the double backflip in the quarterfinals. We saw the foot slip off, he limped away. But Ribot, in the clinch, he is the guy you want on your team because he knows every trick in the book.
He knows how to win these events too, Tess. I mean, last year he proved it. He was against one of the best natural terrain riders in the world, Jerry Stenberg. The course was fitting to that style of riding, and Ribot proved he can do it too.
I'd have to pose the question too, is Ribot going to play with some of his other off-axis tricks to challenge Sinclair? He's going to have, obviously, the creativity and the execution, trick and track, but will he play with something that he, that he knows he's capable of?
There we go. You never know what you're going to get out of Ribot. Sometimes they'll surprise you and do whatever it takes to win. Just like throwing knack-knacks down that step down on a backflip.
He's coming into one of our double-double sections, a ramp to dirt, then dirt to dirt.
That big top side, and that's even bigger right there. Kiss of death, look back backflip. Stopping it. Perfect. Keeping a pretty good momentum right here. Coming back to the double-doubles. With a double can backflip. Checking the brakes, pulling it into the quarter pipe section.
Now the guys were actually careful to tell the judges, hey, I'm going to pull up on that rhythm section and then I'm going to try the quarter pipe, just to make sure that the guys upstairs know they're not making a mistake when they do that.
Yeah, using every inch. It's a tough spot, but when you got a massive course with so many options, it is in your best interest to clarify with the judge. We got the best judges in the world here, but you still want to cover your bases.
So far for Ribot, looks like he's on point.
Looks like he hung up a little on that can-can. I believe last round he did a candy bar to can-can, which is 1 foot over the bar and then bringing it back to the side. The look back Indy kiss of death flip.
So he does the kiss of death flip twice, but when he does this one, he actually scissor kicks the legs in that, what we call the Indian air.
Suicide style backflip. No hands. And it's kind of crazy. That last trick of Ribot's run is his patented kind of holy grab, one-hand Indy seat grab, but he's been getting a little sloppy with it.
And you got to ask yourself, did the repetition, will it hurt him?
Well, let's see one of these big Ribot combos.
Really cool. Sit down and preload to get a little extra pop out of the ramp. Turn down south double can. And this one, amazing trick. Getting the bike a little kinked out. Adding some flair to the mix. There we go. Suicide style, no-handed backflip. Greasing the landing so he can set up for this, which is usually his go-to trick. I guess he stomped it pretty good. He might come and slap me around if he watches this broadcast.
Yeah, he's selling this one. Look at that. And that's what you have to do. Remember, one of the judges sitting up there, Tough Hedeman, one of the world's greatest bull riders of all time, he judges how well you put on a show and what the reaction of the crowd is. And this massive crowd here in Fort Worth, Texas tonight is certainly behind all of the riders. So Matt Ribot, the first run of the semifinals is in the book. It was a good run.
Oh, definitely. Definitely the one issue with Ribot versus Cam Sinclair, if Cam is on his game right here, is Matt's ability to bring something unique to the table, and Burley like the double backflip.
And how quickly Cameron has to come back after taking that fall. So now he finds himself in the semifinal. Little time to recoup. And he's going to have to do a full run with that double back.
Well, Cam's mindset when he came here was to do a double backflip every run that he did here. And so far, he's right on track.
Oh, he's absolutely flawless so far. And just a surprise, you could see in the replay of that double backflip that his right foot was just hanging slightly back on the foot peg, and it slipped up.
His time has started a little bit beforehand because he wasted time looking at that double flip ramp. Lost about 6 or 7 seconds there. Huge Cam Sinclair sink style. Full suicide, no-handed flip. You know, people at home, you might think, oh, he did the same thing, but everybody adds their own little flair to each trick. And Cam's one of those guys.
There's a lot of subtleties, different flip variations.
Trying to trick the step up there, kind of just doing another little no-footed action, grabbing for his ankle.
Yeah, he doesn't seem as powerful in this run as he did in the last one.
And Cam one-hand flip. KOD. Timing's good, which I'm sure that's crucial with that ankle.
Yeah, he does not want to overjump or underjump any of these things because it's very, very hard on his ankle.
his run started a few seconds late because he was taking the time to look at that double flip ramp. As you remember the last round, it looks like he's on the same route. The last round, he pushed it right to the last second. Yellow flag's waving, 9 seconds. And the rule is if you are en route to that jump, the direct path, it does count. And I think the judges will count this.
They're going to count this. Here we go again, the double backflip.
There it is.
Does it again.
How unbelievable is Cameron Sinclair? This was just something we called the holy grail of freestyle. It was so huge. He pulls it again and again, but this time he really is in significant pain.
He didn't fall there. He just kind of stopped after. It looks like he's in massive pain. What a trooper, though, to go for that again.
Folks, freestyle motocross riders are as tough as nails, and don't let anyone ever doubt that. Cameron Sinclair, the double backflip again.
Another one in the books.
Looks like he might have taken it a little long again.
How do you quantify that? How do you get it where you can control it? It just seems like it's such a huck and hope.
I think you said it best right there. I'm a rider, but I don't even fathom having to do something like that. Slipped the foot again there. Great combos, though. Had a pretty solid run. It looked a little more tentative in this round compared to the last. And when you're going against Matt Ribot, you need to be 100% on, but when you got the double backflip, you might have a little flexibility.
So as much as the judges want to reward the progression for the double backflip, they have to be honest and true to the entire run. That's going to be the difficult question, to try to sit down and get out the abacus.
They really do. And you see there the look on Matt Ribot's face says it all. He feels it for his comrade in arms there, Cameron Sinclair. And we saw it again there, Ronnie. When he landed, he was favoring that right foot, and unfortunately, it bounced off the dirt. So Matt Ribot gets trick and track execution. Ribot takes this round. He will go through to the finals. Oh, and listen to the Texas crowd.
You know, they love the double back, but it is about the entire run. And
Cam got a smidget sloppy. Compare, you know, that's the tough part. You're at the scrutiny of your last run. You know, I mean, the judges saw what he can do. He was a little reserved.
I got to say, I'm actually happy with that result, because now Cam can go, he can get that foot taken care of. He's got nothing left to prove. He has absolutely shown his class and his ability to the world here today. And we'll be seeing an awful lot more of Cameron Sinclair in the double backflip.
he made his notch in a little FMX history in the dirt here in Fort Worth tonight, because unbelievable to consider that double backs now, well, he just can toss him in a run when he feels like it.
I didn't know freestyle would come to this day. I should know better. Sport never ceases to amaze me, man.
Well, you think about just over a decade old, you know, freestyle motocross and how far it has come. You go back to, going back to Gravity Games and that first backflip with Carey Hart, and people said, don't do it.
Oh, yeah, crazy trick. You must be insane. It's almost certainly going to result in a very, very quick trip to the hospital, but well, we've been proved wrong quite a few times in our freestyle motocross career, and it's just another one of those times when history was made. Well, Ego Sato was lucky, we might say, in his quarterfinal round to beat Robbie Madison and come up against Nate Adams. Adams, #1 qualifier. The #2 qualifier was Sinclair. He is now out. Bursting out of the gate will be the 30-year-old Japanese rider Sato. And if there was a most improved category in freestyle motocross, I'd give it to this guy.
Unbelievable rider. Always has the ego flair to his tricks. Always having a good time. One of my personal favorites. Hope to see him do well. You know, you can tell that first round he had some bad timing, and I think that came with maybe the pressure of being the series points leader at the Red Bull X Fighters. Not a position Ego's ever found himself in. Going for that Cordova flip right out of the gate.
Ego is riding living testament to what a good work ethic can get you in FMX.
You know, you think 30 years years old and FMX is like, oh, you know, past it. But Ego has proved everybody wrong. He just keeps getting better as he gets older.
Makes me want to get back on the bike. Minus the gnarly stuff.
All right. In a head-to-head matchup, though, against Nate Adams, he has to be flawless to advance.
Yes, he does. Nate through.
Ooh, foot slipped off there, but it didn't cost him. He's got to be careful. He actually pulled that cliffhanger flip upside down with the feet hooked under the bars better than Adams did.
Bit of a problem right there. He recovered so-so with it, but he actually had to cut across the whole course just to get that east-west jump there. And he looks like he's favoring something.
And judges take note if you do lose your line.
They really take note when you're going against Nate Adams.
You know, I was going to say at the start of the run, he was kind of charging it. It was really, you know, it was fun to watch him go in that kind of high moto style, but he slowed down after he made that mistake.
Flip whip. Here he's going to turn it around in the quarter pipe. Ego's one of the only guys that hits the quarter pipe in two directions and tricking it.
Yeah.
He actually goes bigger when the ramp forces you to go to the right.
So he'll make the turn, and I think this one's going to count. He will get both jumps, the double-double. No, he's going for the big boy.
Dead sailor.
And that could have sealed the coffin for Ego's fate.
Wow, that is something you never want to do in freestyle motocross. We call it a dead sailor or a supercross air. It's when you pull no trick over a jump.
You know, not only did he have the pressure of going against Nate Adams, he also has one of his rivals for the series going to the finals without him.
That's it. Rabot is going to the finals. Look at that. That was a great extension. Oh, but the cliffhanger. Oh, there it is.
Hung up a little. I love watching Ego ride flip whip. Always looking sharp out there. A little tough with time to look at him. Having a good time, and that's really what matters.
So Ego Sato, he realizes he made a mistake against Nate Adams. But as we've said, in Red Bull X Fighters competition, never ever count yourself out just because of a mistake. Because it is so easy to make one slip up and it can cost you the whole run.
Well, this guy here, Nate Adams, they call him the Destroyer. If I had to pick a nickname, I'd call him the Machine. But even machines have their flaws, and Ego's hoping for that.
Well, Ego can advance, but he's going to have a lot of help from Nate Adams. Nate Adams would have to seriously falter in his run. He's been scoring in the 90s, and it's just been clean, consistent runs. And something for the viewers to watch out there, watch how clean Nate lands. He's very smooth throughout. The judges love that. Very, very few case landings landing on that top lip.
Definitely Nate, like I said, he's a machine. He's good at drilling the landing. Perfect landing. In these double-double sections, you have to be spot on. Nice catwalk right there. Fred Flintstone style. Hitting the quarter pipe with some good air.
Taking a page out of your book there, buddy. Look down.
I love the lines he's taken here. I love the fact that he has taken such a unique perspective on how to ride this course.
Years of experience have gone into him. Battling with Travis Pastrana. That's one of Travis's signature techniques, is to be on the gas and doing things other people aren't doing. Nate hitting that super kicker with a Cordova flip, getting massive boost, rock solid to double grab, kind of scorpioned out there.
At this point in the competition, you think it's fair to say that this course has separated the riders that truly have, you know, the purest riding background and those that do not?
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, there's so many options, and Nate, being one of the veterans, is showing how to utilize those options and throw in, you know, the up-to-date big tricks.
Still 20 seconds left in this run. Nate Adams is trying to take down Ego Sato at Red Bull X Fighters, Fort Worth, Texas, here on this big course at the historic Stockyards. Oh, here it is.
Just opting for the straight three, landing a little sideways, but pulling it off. He's really worked on getting those things a lot flatter. Seat grab flip over the booster.
I think the seat grab flip was actually after time. The 360 he pulled there, he didn't add the knack-knack. I think he just wanted to be smooth and consistent because he knows Sato made the mistake. Therefore, he goes good. He's going to get it, right?
Yeah. would have to say Nate is definitely stoked on his ride, and bringing that big trick at the end, he had the luxury to do that.
When he rides like this, unstoppable.
Like you pointed out, Pat, greasing those landings, bringing it around.
Oh, Clifford Adaptante, Sidewinder.
Oh, what great extension, too.
What we don't see on those replays is how he utilized the course right after that. Getting into the quarter, then massive stripper flip on the 120. Just always spot on with his feet. The 360 here, giving it a little extra tug. Had the foot off.
He was thinking.
I think he decided, you know what, I don't have to do a neck here.
And what we have to explain to the folks at home is the 360 is a man-eater of a trick, because if you do it even a hair wrong, you are down and you are eating that dirt.
It's taken down a lot of the big names.
There we see that 9 jumps only for Ego Sato. The dead sailor, though, is the big factor in his run that I think is going to cost him a move through to the finals. And he's seen a lot of finals lately, but I don't think he's going to be the bridesmaid tonight. I've got a feeling the guy on the right's going to advance.
That's the first round this series that he hasn't. And that is the case.
There it is.
So Nate Adams moves into the final. Maybe unstoppable. We talk about his momentum lately.
It's great to see Adams back. He's going to meet the Swiss rider, last year's champion, both of the series and Fort Worth, Matt Ribot, in the finals.
And who do we have here? Looky.
Well, this, Ronnie, I think is your highlight of the entire event. Not only do we have bull riding,
double flips,
double backflips, and the best freestyle riding on the biggest course on the planet, we also have, for your pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Yeah, this is why everyone rides, because it's these little treats when you come to a freestyle motocross event. Red Bull X Fighters, the best.
They definitely are taking care of the riders. God bless America. God bless Texas, and God bless the Cowboy cheerleaders. Have mercy on their souls. See a couple ladies in the stands that aren't too impressed, but the guys, I've heard quite a few whistles.
Wow, they're called America's Sweethearts from the Cowboys, which were, of course, known for a long time as America's team.
I lost my train of thought. What's the slogan? Everything's hot in Texas. Now, Tess, I'm going to let you know I am doing my own judging right now. Critiquing, watching, Pat.
Well, right now, what the judges are looking for is just basic choreography, just punctuation, and just palm movement.
I'm looking for stretchability and extension in the tricks.
Execution's important here, because if you don't get the pom-pom above shoulder level, you're going to be docked. So, but you know, I mean, these are the best in the world. They know what they're doing with those pom-poms.
I think choreography is overrated, personally.
If you've just tuned in, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Red Bull X Fighters from Fort Worth, Texas. This is a little bit of a perk. A little bit of a perk and extra from the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders here to cheer on our freestyle motocross stars. We've already got to the quarters, the semis, and we're just waiting for the big show. The finals here at Red Bull X Fighters between Matt Ribot and Nate Adams. But right now, nobody's really thinking about freestyle motocross.
I really feel like this would be a great addition to the entire tour. We have 2 more stops left. Football season's not going right now.
I think there's a lot of people scratching their heads. Why not sooner?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Red Bull X Fighter cheerleaders. Self-proclaimed by myself and endorsed.
So while the cheerleaders cheer, a couple of the boys come out to give a little bit of a show. This is the way we do it at Red Bull X Fighters. Tess Sewell along with Ronnie Renner and Pat Parnell. in the sweltering Texas heat, but nobody seems to mind.
We've officially hit sensory overload. We've got FMX and cheerleaders.
Ox and Torres deciding to steal a little thunder from the cowboy cheerleaders, training it up.
Is that possible?
Nope. Oh, I didn't see it. Uh-oh. Yeah, we got them out of here. Back to business.
This is the part that I like the most. Watch it as it builds here, and you're waiting for the crescendo. Just wait for it.
Hopefully we see a pyramid.
No, it's building.
Triple Lindy.
Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. Love that.
Gotta love it.
They're really talented.
A lot of talented athletes here tonight. And I'm not just talking about in the announcing booth.
We like it loud. We like it. We like it. We like it loud.
And this, here we go.
Oh, we thought we'd seen enough can-cans with the boys on their bikes, but no, there's more can-cans here from the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Who said the can was outdated?
It's a timeless trick, and I think the cheerleaders, cowboy cheerleaders, are proving that here tonight.
The whip is no longer my favorite trick.
Or the wave. A favorite at any sporting event.
That's like a half worm.
All right. You're welcome, everyone. You're welcome. Some said bring it on. It was just brought in.
The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders putting on a show here at Red Bull X-Fighters, Texas. We are live in the stockyards in Fort Worth, Texas, but now we have to get back to the dirty stuff, the freestyle motocross. This is how it played out all the way through from the quarterfinals to the semifinals to what we now have coming up. The finals, Matt Ribot, the Swiss giant, versus the destroyer, Nate Adams. Let's take a look at how Matt Ribot got here.
There's Ribot, look back, kiss of death backflip. Making a statement, going for the candy bar to can flip. Pretty pumped. I struggled a bit, but here he goes. The man of the night so far, Nate Adams, who he's going to be facing in the finals with the 360, and we know he's got more to offer with that 360, and 30 more seconds to show anything else he wants to muster up.
Yeah, and Ribot had a little help too, we should say, from Cameron. Cameron Sinclair faltered a little bit, but the final is set, and I expect some serious punches.
This is going to be quite a spectacle. Matt Ribot won here last year, and he really wants redemption so bad. He didn't win in Mexico. He didn't win in Calgary. This is his house, but he's the lower qualified of the two riders, so he has to ride first while Nate Adams watches and plots.
Let me put you on the option block here, Ronnie. You've seen how Nate has been riding tonight. You've seen how Ribot has been riding. Judging by that, even before these guys take to the course, who's going to take it?
Well, you know, it goes deeper than that. I know how these guys react to pressure, and both of them are pressure players. Ribot started the night a little tentative, I think, made his way through there, and he's in the spot where he shines right now. The problem is Nate Adams is also in that spot, and I think he's done his homework, planning on being in that final, maybe a little more than Ribot has, so he might have the upper hand.
And the big difference in the final of the Red Bull X-Fighters is that the time limit extends. They now have 30 more seconds. That's 2 minutes on this course to show themselves and to show how deep that bag of tricks really is.
In this Texas heat, 2 minutes is a long time. It's a lot of jumps. Ribot opting to take as many as he can right at the get-go through the 3-pack.
So I'm going to ask a question for the fans on the couch at home, Ronnie. Extra 30 seconds, is stamina even a factor then for these guys?
It is. You know, you get really tight out there. Your heart rate hits huge levels. Oh, Matt going a little deep in the pocket, but holding on. Got to relax. Definitely got to relax. You're definitely sweating. It's high pressure situation. Well, the crazy part is, Matt, you have to take these lines, but he's hitting the more option lines, which is going to get him a bigger jump score. Coming into the quarter pipe, big boost. Taking it past the landing into the knuckle up there. He needs to make sure you don't have any dirt in his control levers there with the shifter. Double neck Indy over that side transfer. Big gap, you can tell he's totally tapped out there. Putting up his flip lever. Going with that candy bar. It almost looks like trying to throw two cans to each side in. Popping the other one, we'll probably see something big right here.
So he's trying to pull something extra here. He knows who he's up against. The clock is now winding down to 30 seconds left for Matt Ribot on this Red Bull X Fighters course.
30 seconds left, that's a lot of time, but so far Matt's holding up to the challenge. No hand flips. Coming in with that signature Ribot. Toss it away. Grab the one-hand Indian air seat grab.
And you got to take the heat too. You're talking about all the riding that Ribot has done tonight. The heat finally dropping down.
11 seconds left. Will probably be his last couple of series of jumps. Double can flip, heel clicker flip. Not one you see Ribot pull out too much, but in 2 minutes, you got to do. He's got 1 second left. I don't think enough time to count this next set of jumps. This one's for the fans right here. Oh, the underflip. Rock solid, but I don't believe those are going to count.
He ended it off so big. I mean, he really needs the charge. We saw a couple of problems there. Certainly went really long on the quarter pipe.
It's hard to get that timing down. You get one go at a 2-minute run, so you really don't know where the chips are going to fall. Topside can, kind of signature Ribot style. That big one we've seen a couple times tonight. Went a little long there. And here's the Omega to it. The look back Indian air.
This angle you can see.
Oh, a bit of a sailfish.
You can see the contortion on that.
Kind of whip flip.
But most likely after time, it's going to... He's not committed to that jump.
That's a tough one too. With that front angle, it actually looked more like an underflip, but really when it's all said and done, I don't think it counts, so it doesn't matter. I know Ribot's already got a few fans here.
Nate Adams will have the final say. And I think it's safe to say it would take a big faltering from Adams. He is ridden flawlessly from qualifiers onto here making the final.
Just with the routing that Nate's been taking, the 360 added into the repertoire, I'm sure some combos attached to that if his game's on. It's going to be tough for Ribot for sure, but he did deliver right there, about the best he could right now.
And there's a cleanliness that Adams rides in that I think is appreciated by all. He really makes the FMX, the tricks, the line, and he makes a course look like this, like that's so daunting. He makes it look small.
Well, it's funny because sometimes people have claimed that Nate Adams kind of looks robotic, like he's always doing these. He makes the trucks look so easy that nobody really considers how difficult they are. It's because he's a technician, but I got a feeling that Nate Adams has such a deep bag of tricks, and he's going to be firing on all cylinders all the way through this round, and he's going to dominate right from the get-go.
He's literally done his homework on this track.
I think his sights are set on the 5th and final stop in London. I think he wants the title.
He's got the ability to do it. Lazy boy flips right out of the gate on that side hit.
There's a little on the top of that landing.
Rock solid, stalling out the double grab scorpion style.
Those legs bent up like a scorpion's tail there.
Kind of starting off with a typical line, but we know Nate has a really unique and distinctive route. Oh, hanging up. Wow, hanging up a little on the sidewinder.
Any falter from Adams right now could give the win to Ribot.
No, Ribot showed him up on that quarter pipe. As good as it is to see Nate hitting that quarter pipe. Ribot boosted all the way to that knuckle you see right there. But there's where Nate steps it up past Ribot and hits a transition that Ribot wasn't doing, and then flips it around into this super steep super kick.
And Adams took a completely different line. In his semifinal matchup, he started off with that creative line over on the corner.
Taking it easy on the setup jump to the big no-handed flip. He just makes it look so easy.
And just under a minute left to go, and he did make a little bit of a mistake on that sidewinder. There is the 360 with the knack, so he's back to pulling that trick as big as he knows.
That was definitely a trick he needed in the final.
He can continue with the big tricks to the end. That's what leaves the indelible mark with the judges. It's better to falter early and then come back.
It definitely is. Haven't seen much faltering yet. Big Cordova flip on the big boy.
And that is such a big jump. It's you know, 120-foot ramp, but they travel at least 150 feet.
Level knack there. Oh, and the cliffhanger flip on the jump that everyone's been struggling on. That's just an added little bonus right there, and the judges recognize stuff like
He
that.
still has time.
Look at this. One last trick up Adam's sleeve.
The double one-handed heart attack, bringing it one way, switching hands, full extension on that.
That might have been the emphatic answer to Ribot's run to give Nate a win here in Fort Worth. It'll be down to the judges.
Here we see that big let go, and then he puts the legs up in that scorpion style, like a scorpion's tail here. The Cordova flip on the short 45-foot jump, and oh, Ronnie.
Yeah, that knack 360. Really impressive. We've seen him do it, you know, but I'm really pumped on him doing that Cordova flip on that super kicker. You're so high, it's a totally different approach to a flip than normal. Just totally delivering. We expected him to, but stuff like this, just icing on the cake with a cliffhanger backflip, so smooth on one of the tougher jumps on the course.
Will it be Ribot or Adams? It did seem like Nate came back with a good amount of just frenetic tenacity right at the end of that run when he needed it. After, you know, he had the off axis.
So the way this works is there'll be no score, just the winner will be announced.
All right, let me try this one. How many people think Nate the Destroyer Adams is taking the win here tonight?
When you listen to the crowd,
Texans are feeling Nate here. Wow. A lot of judges out there, but only 5 getting paid.
Tufts up there, probably putting that into account to his decision.
Happens.
They're over there talking it over. We're just waiting for the gravity.
You know what? It's not going to come down anytime
You start to think back.
You know, like I said,
Nate Adams,
job in the house.
beginning of his run, he seemed a little lost, but then he got his rhythm. Ribot, fairly consistent all the way through. Maybe not as electric as we saw in earlier rounds.
You know, and I really only saw one mistake from Nate on that sidewinder there. Kind of not a textbook trick. Definitely one of the guys really throwing that out there tonight, but I don't think he messed up enough to be significant. Judging by where the judges are watching from, they might not even have seen that small hang-up.
And you have to reward the Cordova flip, too. I mean, the way that Nate does it.
Yeah, and like I pointed out, on that super kicker, it's only a 45-foot gap, but you go with half the momentum and twice the height.
What's up? I want to know.
Look at this. They're waiting to find out. The judges are spending some time deliberating. Nate thinks it's his.
We need to get Nate on decaf.
Oh, who is it going to be?
He had a couple Red Bulls before that last run. He's all ramped up. He's ready to roll. He's ready to go to Billy Bob's tonight, too.
So,
speaking of
two
that,
great riders, the former champion in Matt Ribot,
merchandise on the way out of here tonight, too.
and Nate Adams, who is now on the comeback trail, and I think we've definitely seen tonight that Nate Adams is ready to take on
And
all
here you
comers
go,
once again.
your 2009 Red Bull X
Who is
Fighter
it gonna
champion
be?
in historic Fort Worth Stockyards. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you Nate the Destroyer!
Kind of saw it coming, but I want to give Ribot the benefit of the doubt. He put in a solid run, but Nate really put it together tonight.
Well, Nate looks overjoyed there, and we have seen some incredible riding tonight. I mean, we've seen Cameron Sinclair pull not one, but 2 double backflips. He got knocked out by Ribot. Ribot then gets taken down by Adams. So it was a fight all the way through to the finals. And of course, let's remember another attempt tonight. Tom Pages trying that front flip. An unfortunate ending for him, but there is so much more left in freestyle motocross that we are going to see in the coming years.
I think it's a little tip of the hat of what you can expect at the following Red Bull X Fighters.
Cam Sinclair is my VIP for the night.
I'm sure he's going to enjoy himself tonight at the legendary Red Bull X Fighters after party. So stop number 3 is in the books from Fort Worth, Texas. From here we move on to Madrid, Spain in mid-July, and then we ended off in a brand new setting in Battersea Power Station in London, England. That's going to be so much fun. The first time an event has ever been inside the old power station in Battersea. It's going to be something very unique, and if you get a chance to go to either of those 2 stops, I highly recommend it. There's nothing like the live experience here. And these guys look kind of prepared here in Fort Worth. Look at that. Does it actually say Fort Worth? It's RT Worthy.
They're trying.
I'm so pumped on this series, man. You see it here. It's not easy to please the American public, and Red Bull X Fighters does it.
And what a great place to end the 5-stop series. England, you know, class up the joint, so to speak. It's about time.
You know what's really cool is how many people are hanging around just waiting for the award ceremony. And the big question is, how on earth do you get this award home? I mean, does that fit in the overhead bins?
That is not carry-on appropriate.
Yeah. I'm sure OGO makes a bag that'll get that home.
Yeah, they probably do. The special Red Bull X Fighters Texas award bag.
Andy Bell's partially responsible for the winner of this, being the head judge. Also, one of the vice presidents of marketing there at OGO.
So 3rd place in a fantastic night, a fantastic weekend for Australia's Cameron Sinclair, the double backflip king. He's just got to be happy with 3rd, and obviously not hurt so bad he couldn't get back out for the award ceremony.
Valiant ride, man.
It brings up the scenario too now with Ribot with another 2nd place finish. He could still remain on top for the overall come the 5th and final stop because his consistency, but it was all about Nate Adams, the Destroyer.
Nate the Destroyer Adams takes 1st place here at Red Bull X Fighters Fort Worth, Texas, as the fireworks explode above us. Wow, even the fireworks are Texas big here.
I don't know what's louder, the fireworks or the crowd here.
I'm stoked to see everybody sticking around, giving props to their new hero, Nate Adams. I'm pretty sure the series comes back around here next year. Ribot's going to be they're going to be watching out for him once again because he's proven to be the final contender both times.
You know, I spoke with Nate Adams earlier this year, and it was just when he was coming back from a list of injuries, and he said, I really, really want it more than I ever have, and it's great redemption to see all his hard work, and just dealing with the lows, the mental lows that those injuries can, you know, give you. And
it can ruin people.
Yeah.
Nate has a movie called Full Circle, and that was put out probably 3 years ago. Is there a full double circle? I mean, is there another term we could use? Because he's back here killing it again.
Hey, you know, the strange thing is Nate's injuries. He crashed. It all started in Red Bull X Fighters Madrid. He had that little kind of hiccup where he just slid into the surrounding of the bull ring there in Las Ventas. And we didn't even think he'd injured himself. And all of a sudden, we realized he'd broken his finger. That's where it all started. And then he's just been getting these kind of these small injuries and things like, you know, he crashed in Supercross, and that's just held him out of competition long enough to make people question whether he could actually do this.
Well, if anybody can, it's that man right there. One of the few people to take down Travis Pastrana. Coming back on top here, you see, with Matt Ribot, 80 points towards the series campaign. And then Cam Sinclair, he missed last round, but scoring big here.
Yeah, it goes in the history books. And you mentioned Thomas Paget, like the front flip took a horrible fall. We hope he's okay, but I think that's also kind of a foreshadowing of things to come in the sport.
Oh, for sure. We got to give some props too to Danny Torres, who he was either the shark or he found a way to step it up tonight and put in a great run there.
Duct tape works wonders.
Yeah, it really does. So this is kind of busted things wide open again in the series.
But you got to talk about the consistency from start to finish. Nate Adams just was unwavering in his hunger here tonight.
And just the way that he elevated his tricks onto the more difficult landings. Some textbook old school moves like the cliffhanger, but just punctuating everything. Right there was a small hang up, but that's nothing. When he's throwing moves like that, you're allowed to have some hiccups.
I think we got it almost in that kind of critical corner where we're used to seeing him ride so well. Any little, you know, miss by Nate, we wanted to point out.
If we're not picking him apart, the judges are.
Well, take a look at this. Ego Sato actually retains the top of the series standings here above Ribot, but look how close it's getting. Only 5 points separates those two now. Madison, who had that really unfortunate problem, looked like maybe something popped out in his run against Sato, so Mato's got a bit of a fight on his hands, but hey, we still have 2 stops left, and what you have to remember about Red Bull X Fighters is only 3 of the first 4 results will count going into the finals in London. So we have what's called a throwout. So your worst score gets thrown out. The top 3 are then tallied as we move into London, and then they'll be battling for the bangers and mash.
There's a lot of guys that can still be in the hunt for this one.
So we head into Spain next in mid-July. Ronnie, what do you think we're looking for there? All of the same guys are going to be there, but it's a much different course in the bull ring.
You're going to have a lot of the same guys, but the course is different. It's a lot simpler, which turns into a trick rider's course, which it's always turned into a trick rider course these days. They're hitting the big tricks on the big gaps, so you know you can see anything, but it is a place where the kind of weaker, so to say, on courses like this, riders can shine because all they're focusing is on tricks.
And it's Danny Torres' home course.
Yeah, and when you also got to ask the question, Levi Sherwood, can he come back?
Sherwood could be in, and that's his kind of course, as he proved in Mexico. He's all about throwing big tricks and big deliveries, but Danny Torres is the same kind of explosive rider, and he wants that win in Madrid worse than anything. I can bet you anything on that.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if Adams can get himself some redemption after that accident in Madrid, the same bull ring. But it was a fantastic night tonight here in Texas. We saw double backflips galore, amazing tricks, and the fireworks, well, they just were all over this Texas-sized course. We had a front flip attempt from Thomas Pages. We'll be seeing him again. 11 riders came out, only 1 was the victor. That was Nate Adams, almost flawless on the night tonight. Adams showed that he is now a force to be reckoned with once again in the sport of freestyle motocross.
Ego Sato retaining that points lead though. Matt Ribot hot on his trail after getting that 2nd place. Still a long way to go in this series, but that was the move of the night that got this Texas crowd pumped.
So we hope you've enjoyed your trip with us here to Fort Worth, Texas, and the historic Stockyards. The heat was out here on the course, and it was that man, Nate Adams, who took it tonight. Number 1 in Texas, Nate Adams. What will he do in Madrid? Why don't you join us and find out?